We are on the 8th floor of the tower, in a place called the Wasteland of Death. Man, what a name. A massive army of players marches through the snow. A blond man in a fur-collared jacket leads the charge. He turns to address the troops behind him. This is Kyojo Itsuki, the rank 6 Blue Zone Guild Master. He tells them, if we cannot clear this floor, floor 9 will stay a distant dream. Suddenly, the soldiers part for someone new. Itsuki watches them approach. So it finally shows up. A new group walks through the path, the Blue Eyes Guild, and their leader is Narukami Subaru, the rank 1 solo player. Itsuki smiles and calls out his name. They shake hands. Subaru apologizes for being late. This crowd whispers that Subaru is the main event. Subaru grips a small blade. If it is leftovers you want, he says, they are right here. He is not attacking. He is placing an item in Itsuki's hand. Itsuki is shocked. It is a legendary item. Subaru tells him to keep it just in case the raid fails. Then he asks, how about coming back to Blue Eyes? He says Itsuki can return the item then. Itsuki looks down, considering the offer. Subaru adds, if you do not plan on coming back, you can just keep it. But Itsuki's expression suddenly turns to alarm. This floor guardian has arrived, way sooner than expected. This challengers on floor 8 look up in terror. A man with light brown hair screams, get ready for its attack. And yeah, it is a massive venom hydra. Our boy in the mask just looks at it. What a nasty monster. His hand crackles with dark energy. You make my skin crawl. Lightning power surges through his body. Today is the day you die. This hydra's red eye glares back. One of its heads charges up a massive energy blast. This leader guy yells for everyone to brace themselves, but our boy just leaps straight into the fray. This hydra unleashes a torrent of poison breath. He meets the blast head-on with his sword and just slices right through it with his own power. His attack slams into the ground. He tells them there is no need to fall back. This leader is just stunned into silence. A blond man watches from the side. Subaru, you're always just. This rest of the party is hyped. Amazing, Subaru, all that training really paid off. A woman with dark hair asks him, what did you hand to Itsuki just now? He tells her she will find out later. Subaru looks at his team. He asks if they are ready. This whole group charges forward to clear floor 8. They stand united against the Hydra, but the light brown-haired leader watches them from afar. How very chummy of them. Elsewhere, a man reports to him, I have hidden our forces just as planned. This leader smirks. Excellent, a hooded figure says, then let us begin as well. His hidden allies prepare to move. Man, a betrayal is coming. A woman in a winter coat stands ready in the snow, and they are up against a massive ice dragon. This whole team leaps into action against the beast. It is a skeletal monster with rows of sharp teeth. One of the fighters charges in alone. Hey, do not just charge in without saying anything. He has golden eyes and a look of pure focus. He lands a clean slice across the monster's neck. That is just how it always is, right? Another fighter on its back yells down at him. You have no idea how that makes us feel. A guy named Soya grins. Wanna see who can deal more damage? He unleashes a powerful red energy strike. Another fighter cuts into the dragon's jaw. Okay then. He powers up with blue energy. Loser buys dinner, and he unleashes his own devastating attack. This dragon thrashes, knocking the mage to the ground. Chino, sorry. But she gets right back up. Do not worry about me, just keep attacking. She casts a huge defensive barrier. Leave the defense to me. One of her teammates calls her name. Chino. It is Soya right behind her. Think you can block this too. Her eyes go wide with shock. He stabs her right through the chest. You guys are way too full of yourselves. That is your problem. Our boy Subaru turns, hearing her call his name. Soya just tosses her aside. He stands over her body with a smug smile. Subaru's eye glows with a cold blue light. This traitor looks at him, covered in blood. Subaru, this is no time to be spacing out. A masked man stands over a fallen beast, asking a question. Itsuki, why are you? A system message appears. You have been chosen by the tower. This tower's first message to every player is to climb and prepare for the end, but no one knows if it is a trial or a blessing. This truth is a mystery, so all they can do is obey the command. And so everyone aims for the tower's peak, a place no one has ever reached. People from countless dimensions were summoned here, each with their own mission. They continue to climb the tower, and inside, it is a scene of constant, brutal battle, a battlefield littered with the bodies of fallen comrades. Our boy grits his teeth against the pain and the loss. He sits wounded, the last one standing against the floor 8 boss. He looks at his fallen party. I do not remember saying any of you could die. He calls them idiots, his voice full of grief. A system warning flashes. His fatigue level is critical. If it reaches 100, he will die, but he is Narukami Subaru, the Thunder Lord. But then a man appears, and Subaru asks him, why the hell did you do this? This man, Kyojo Itsuki, just gives him a smug smile. Itsuki tells him, it has been 10 years, Subaru. He says he has been planning this for a decade. He explains this was the only way to defeat you. He used their friends as a distraction, and yeah, the plan worked perfectly. Itsuki screams that everything Subaru gave him was a torment, and he chose the world over him. Subaru just listens, speechless, as Itsuki finishes. That is all there is to it. Itsuki looks away, saying the end is finally in sight. He then tosses an item aside. Blue Eyes is going down with you anyway. This blonde guy holds up a gem. So do not be too sad. Even if you die, you will go down as a hero. Subaru just smirks. Right to the end, you only ever say what you want to say. His bloody hand clenches into a fist. This traitor walks back to his army, leaving Subaru to face them alone. Subaru's eye glows with a cold light. He knows his life cannot be saved anymore. But he is not just going to lie down and die. This blonde guy turns back, a look of pure shock on his face. Because Subaru is now holding a legendary fan, Eolus, he asks if it still had uses left. Subaru yells back, like hell I am telling you, idiot. This system says 24 uses remain, but Subaru thinks he can only use it 4 more times. He looks at his comrades. There are 4 Blue Eyes members still alive. He shouts for them to get away, and with a swing of the fan, a massive gust of wind blows them to safety. This blonde guy is furious. Go after them, hurry. Do not let a single one escape. His soldiers charge forward. This fan glows with power, ready for another use. But Subaru just grins. He says no. He raises a hand crackling with golden energy. You are all staying right here. A system warning appears. His fatigue is at 95. Thunderlord's duration will be limited, and then it happens. Thunderlord descends. This blonde guy just watches. Subaru, you really are stubborn to the very end. Subaru stabs himself with a dagger. His fatigue rises to 96. This traitor asks what he hopes to gain from Kyojo, why he would go this far. He asks if Subaru is ready to die for it. Subaru's hair turns white, his eyes glow. From this point on, without my permission, none of you are going anywhere. The soldiers grit their teeth, ready for one last charge. They scream, all or nothing, and rush towards Subaru. Subaru becomes a whirlwind of death, cutting through their ranks. He knows these are not just some random grunts. But he also knows who the real threat is. Once Itsuki makes his move, everything changes, but man, our boy is exhausted. His fatigue hits 97. He cannot keep this up for much longer. He dodges another desperate sword swing. This effort costs him. Fatigue rises to 98. He pushes back, still fighting with everything he has. A spray of blood fills the air, and then a sword finds its mark right through his back. His spear clatters onto the snowy ground. This soldier screams in triumph. We killed Narukami Subaru. Subaru grabs the man's arm, his eyes glowing. Killed who exactly? A massive burst of golden energy erupts from his body. The soldiers around him are blown away. This man who stabbed him collapses to the ground. Subaru just pulls the dagger out of his own chest. He falls to one knee, surrounded by the fallen. This remaining soldiers stare in disbelief, thinking it is finally over. Then a new challenger approaches. It is Itsuki. This blonde man smirks. Your era, to think it would end this easily. A final warning flashes. Fatigue is at 99. At 100, he dies. Subaru glares at him. Itsuki, you know better than anyone. He takes one last step forward. In the very end, he lets out a final roar. I am the one who wins, and he lunges with every last bit of his strength. Itsuki just looks down at the Archangel's blessing. He says his condolences, but then his eyes go wide in disbelief. Subaru's spear is coming right for his head. Itsuki thinks it cannot be, and then darkness. Our boy thinks he went out in a pretty pathetic way. He just wanted to see Itsuki die. He wonders why he is thinking about this now. Then he smells something he can smell. No way. A trash can lid clatters onto the pavement. A young man with black hair sits up inside the can. In a dirty alley, he looks around. He asks if this is hell. A system window appears. Name, Subaru Haas, level 1. He asks who Subaru Haas is. A sudden pain shoots through his head. A memory floods his mind. Bull is taunting this body's owner, comparing him to the legendary Narukami Subaru. He looks down at his reflection. A single tear falls. This bully's voice echoes. At least try to be half as good as Subaru, who died 20 years ago. He is stunned. 20 years ago, he looks at his new hands. He asks whose body this is. He scrambles out of the trash can, falling to the ground. He sees a cracked device on the ground, a player kit. He picks it up. He realizes he can use this to find out what happened. He powers it on and searches for Blue Eyes. This search results pop up. News about the guild and an article about the hero from 20 years ago. He sees a picture. It is Itsuki, so he was not dead. A close-up of the traitor's face. Older, smug as ever. Subaru just says his name, Itsuki. Subaru thinks back. He and Kyojo Itsuki were not always enemies. In a memory, Itsuki tells him he is thinking of leaving Blue Eyes. Subaru is shocked. Itsuki asks him to break the news to everyone for him. Subaru considered him a friend, but Itsuki just says he will understand the reason someday. Itsuki promises, even if I leave, I will still be your shadow. A few years later, Itsuki formed a guild called Blue Zone, the name they always joked about. And now, 20 years later, Subaru learns Itsuki is still stuck on floor 4. Subaru is in disbelief. He has been gone for 2 decades. Someone holds a photo of a building, the Narukami Subaru Memorial Hall, and yeah, our boy is standing right in front of it. He cannot believe this. He looks up at the massive structure. It is even grander than he imagined. A familiar mask hangs on the wall inside. He walks into the lobby. It is filled with people and a giant hologram. He just looks lost. What is the point of remembering me? He walks past the glowing blue display. He looks up at the hologram, wondering who would go this far and why. He clutches his head. A voiceover says he was always their role model. This voice calls him the hero of Blue Eyes, the man who came closest to the top, Narukami Subaru. This speaker says they all chose to remember him forever. Subaru's eyes widen in horror. You have got to be kidding me. Because the voice says he founded this memorial hall, and the hologram is of Itsuki, Subaru grits his teeth, seething. This hologram of Itsuki smiles. Narukami Subaru and Blue Eyes are gone now. He says Blue Zone is the only guild left to carry on their spirit. Subaru clenches his fist. Keep talking. He looks up, furious. Was not killing me enough for you. Fine then, I will live up to your expectations too. He clenches a fist of blue energy. I will rewrite it all from scratch. He looks up with a new resolve. I will not ever let something like that happen again. He promises himself he will not waste this second chance. Then he bumps into someone, knocking them over. He helps the guy up, asking if he is okay. This guy looks up at him, completely stunned. He realizes he is wearing his mask. A few others rush over to check on the kid. Minato, our boy, looks up and sees they are all wearing masks too. He looks around, totally confused by the scene. He rubs his eyes, trying to make sense of it all, but yeah, this is really happening. He sees a whole crowd of people, and every single one is wearing a mask. A memory flashes Itsuki's smug face. It is really a shame things ended up like this. This traitor's words echo in his mind. Even if you die, you will still be remembered as a hero, and it all clicks. So that is what he meant back then. His eyes glow with rage. He says the name, Coyote. He walks through the crowd of masked mourners. And there it is, a funeral shrine with his own picture. He realizes the truth. Is this whole show just to steal Blue Eye's achievements for himself? Man, the sheer audacity of that guy. Then he spots something, a glowing blue butterfly in the flowers. His eye reflects the strange light. He immediately starts pushing his way through the crowd. Others yell at him to get back in line, but he is not stopping. A young man kneels at a memorial of flowers and candles. He reaches out and grabs one of the glowing blue flowers. He holds it up, recognizing it. Is that really you, a Sajiri Shigur? Elsewhere, someone stands on a rooftop overlooking a city. A hooded man says they got through another year. His companion tells him he is too carefree and that they almost ran into the blue zone. This companion complains about coming to the memorial every year, but the first man pushes back his hood. He says you never know what might happen. It is a man with long white hair, he says. Subaru might notice the flowers I left for him. His friend asks if he really thinks Subaru is still alive. He admits he never saw the body. This friend sighs, saying Kyojo will find them before they ever find Subaru. He yells, there is no way he'd silently watch us be hunted for 20 years, you idiot. This scene shifts to a peaceful sunset, and we are back with the young man. He is panting and sweating. He stands in a forest, wondering if it is true. He asks himself if he is really still alive. In his hand is a glowing flower, a sign from Shigur. Later, he sits in a small room. He thinks this was Subaru's old place. He looks at a device. He tried searching for Blue Eyes but found nothing. But he knows for sure that Shigur is alive. He puts his head in his hands. Shigur has been hiding for 20 years. He knows it is because of Kyojo, who would never leave a witness. He remembers Subaru saving 4 of them. He wonders if they all made it, but with Kyojo still out there, contacting them would be too dangerous. He looks out the window. He is powerless right now and cannot afford to draw attention, he thinks. First, I need to. He looks at his hands, determined. Get my old strength back. He grabs a sword, recalling the memories of this body's owner. Subaru Haas, in 2 days, the tutorial to become a player will begin. He holds the blade, thinking of his old comrades. He believes that as long as they are alive, they can meet again. We cut to the tutorial test area, a massive coliseum. Inside, a man stands over the bodies of 3 goblins. A proctor named Hydra watches him, looking unimpressed. This challenger pants, his sword covered in blood. Hydra notes that he barely cleared the test. He asks the man if he will challenge the next step. A system window pops up, startling the challenger. He reads that another goblin will be added, and he refuses to continue. He yells that he passed anyway, as his body begins to dematerialize. Hydra calls it a typical tutorial. He complains about letting someone so pathetic pass. He says aside from one kid who cleared step 20, there is no one worth expecting anything from. He sighs. The quality of this batch is just too low, but then he notices something on his list. A new challenger walks into the arena, sword in hand. This proctor squints. He says the name looks like it will cause some trouble. Our boy Subaru faces him. The proctor thinks he has to pass first. A system window appears in front of Subaru. It says 2 goblins will appear, and they do. This proctor starts to announce the beginning of the tutorial, but a blur of motion cuts him off. A young man moves like a blur, cutting down goblins with a single sword. An old man with a white mustache is stunned. What just flashed past? He watches the kid land on the other side of the courtyard, leaving a trail of bodies. Our boy smirks. Good thing I spent the last 2 days testing this body in different ways. He thinks this new body has potential. The original owner just never used it right. A system window asks if he wants to continue. He says, do not waste my time, just move it along. This old man just screams in disbelief. A goblin's head rolls across the stone floor. He stands in a sea of defeated monsters. What on earth is happening? He can only watch as the kid keeps fighting. A one-man army. This old man realizes this is not just random swinging. He sees the strategy. The kid is thinking too, 3 moves ahead. His hand is steady on the hilt of his bloody sword. This old man admits, even I could not move like that. Our boy just gives a confident smile. This old man comes to a shocking conclusion. That level of combat ability is impossible unless he is Narukami Subaru reborn. Another goblin falls to his blade. He stands calmly over the last one. A system message pops up. Step 49 is cleared. Time for the final boss. He takes a breath. Let us give it a try. He stands ready in the middle of the carnage. This ground begins to crack with a powerful blue energy, and a massive clawed hand erupts from the stone. This old man screams at him, "Stop, no matter what, you're not Narukami Subaru. If you value your life, back out right now." But our boy just stares down the massive goblin boss that has emerged. A system window announces the Goblin King has appeared. It says the sacrifices have been detected, and the boss will now appear. This old man screams at him, "Give up, before it is too late. Taking on the Goblin King is suicide." He yells that skill cannot overcome a massive gap in stats. Subaru knows this. He thinks his current stats cannot do any real damage, but he just tightens his grip on his sword. He looks up, says he refuses, and drops his weapon. This sword clatters onto the bloody stone floor. This proctor is absolutely losing it. "Why did you drop your weapon? Have you finally lost it?" This Goblin King charges forward, ready to crush the unarmed kid, but then a tiny needle hits its leg, drawing a drop of blood. This Goblin King looks down at the needle. Confused. It looks more annoyed than anything else. It looks over at Subaru, who is now crouching among the fallen goblins. Our boy holds up several more needles. He asks if it is surprised. He proposes a bet to the massive monster. His eyes glow. "Or me turning you into a pincushion." And with a flick of his wrist, he sends another needle flying. This Goblin King roars in absolute fury. It lunges forward, mouth wide open, but it just gets peppered with more of Subaru's needles. It swings its massive axe down, trying to end this. Subaru easily dodges the attack, weaving around the blow. He lands perfectly, watching the monster's every move. His eye is sharp, focused. He's just getting started. A memory flashes. A younger Subaru practices throwing knives at a tree, but man, his aim is way off. A woman with dark hair tells him, "You cannot throw like that, Riene." She holds up a pen, smiling. "Anything you throw." She balances it perfectly on her finger. She says it can become a blade if you know its center of gravity, and with a flick of her wrist, she nails the bulls back in the present. The goblin boss is bleeding from several new wounds. It stumbles back, clearly in pain. Subaru stands ready. He thinks about her lesson. Power comes from spin. Hesitation kills accuracy. He smirks. "That is what Riene taught me." This old proctor realizes the trial is not over until the bodies disappear, a rule he never thought to exploit. He is amazed by Subaru's skill, using both his sword and thrown weapons with deadly precision. This old man can only come to one conclusion. He is a genius. This goblin boss groans, covered in wounds. The proctor thinks even genius does not cover it, and with a final crash, the boss collapses to the ground. Subaru calmly walks over and picks up his sword. He stands over the fallen monster. "I do not have anything against you," and with one final swing, he ends it. A system window pops up. Goblin King has been defeated. Another message says step 50 of the tutorial has been cleared for the first time. Subaru is just relieved. Then a flood of notifications hits him, credits, achievement points, and a tutorial shop. He wonders what he can buy. He has over 2,000 points, and this is his first time seeing this shop. He scrolls through the items, potions, rope, armor, all pretty cheap. He has a ton of points left over. But then his eyes lock onto something at the bottom of the list, and he freezes. He looks at the shop. A nameless cursed sword is for sale. He is tempted to think he would see one of Kinder's creations here, but he sees another option, the Holy Sword Miranda. He has a choice to make, raw power or the safe option. He knows this first choice is crucial. He has to choose carefully. But then he notices something. He realizes he can scroll down the list of items. And he finds a skill, Wedge of Greed. He has never seen a skill with an effect like this. He thinks it could even reduce the debuffs from his lightning, and just like that, he buys both the skill and the cursed sword. This proctor says he chose the cursed sword. He introduces himself as Huger. He says it is a good choice, but he cannot understand it. He asks why Subaru chose a skill he did not even know would be useful. Subaru gives him a look. "And you want me to explain all that to you?" Man, Huger gets real intimidating. He seems to be demanding an answer. Subaru just smirks. He says he is just tired. He recognizes the name Huger. He thinks to himself that the snot-nosed brat ended up a proctor. A flashback shows a young Huger. He says he is a huge fan and asks for an autograph. This masked Subaru from the past says he does not have anything like that. Young Huger begs him to just write his name. Back in the present, Huger complains about youngsters. Subaru thinks about his hairline. Subaru says he is not answering. He just tells him to keep the results confidential. Huger gets fired up. He says he will drill proper manners into him. He offers Subaru a spot in the Chivalry Guild. Our boy just walks away, not interested. This proctor tries to stop him. Hey, it is rare for a proctor to scout someone personally, you know. But Subaru is already teleporting away, leaving the old man shouting in the dust. Huger just sighs. He admits he completely misjudged the kid, and just like that, Subaru's feet touch down in a new place. He has arrived on floor 2, the land of beginnings. He looks around the bustling city. He thinks he has finally come back. He knows he has a chance that no one else gets. A second attempt at everything, and he is determined to do things better this time. He does it for his comrades and to avenge the brutal end they all met. So his first stop is a private training room. A man at a desk asks where he is from. Subaru says he just came up. This man points him to training room 1, saying it has straw dummies and everything. But Subaru looks him in the eye. He says he will use number 5. This man warns him against it, but Subaru just books it for 30 minutes. He walks off, leaving the guy muttering about him being a drama queen. And yeah, the lower numbered rooms are for newbies. Room 3 has a guy running from a giant boulder. Classic, but our boy heads straight for door number 5. He enters a ruined chamber, ready to get started. He pulls out a strange, cursed dagger. A system window confirms it. The nameless cursed sword has recognized its user. His stats start increasing, but it is draining his stamina and willpower. This dagger transforms into a massive sword. His wedge of greed tries to resist the corruption. But it fails. His fatigue rises. Man, he thinks this is too much for level 1. A system window pops up. This nameless cursed sword is absorbing his stamina. Subaru grits his teeth. He thinks this is his limit for now. But this was all part of the plan. He spends 10,000 credits to level up his Wedge of Greed skill. This system explains the skill. It reduces side effects from items and lowers the cost to level up. Wedge of Greed level 2 resists the cursed sword. The resistance partially succeeds. This sword starts absorbing his stamina all over again, but his stats increase even further. He just smirks. Success. He launches himself forward with a powerful kick. He leaps high into the air, ready to strike the boss. Time for a little test of strength. Meanwhile, the old proctor is fast asleep at his desk. He wakes up with a start. He says, huh. His eyes snap open. He asks himself, am I still dreaming? He sees a blurry figure walking out of a bright doorway. Or is this a hallucination? He rubs his eyes in disbelief. He thinks it has not even been 10 minutes. He walks over to the door and knocks. Hey, dreamer boy, you still in there? He cautiously cracks the door open to peek inside, and his eyes go wide in absolute shock. What the? This entire arena is a wasteland. The boss is defeated. What in the world? What happened here? Sometime later, Subaru wakes up in a sunlit room. He sits up and stretches. He wonders how long he was out. His body is still stiff all over. He holds a mug thinking it was a good thing it was a failed cursed sword. A proper one would have been much worse. He sits in a tavern. The physical strain has gone down, and thanks to that, he managed to draw out the sword's power. He looks at his stats. Level 10. He thinks normally he could not even hold a cursed sword with these stats. He pictures himself fighting. The synergy between Wedge of Greed and the sword is undeniable. He takes a sip from his mug and smiles. He thinks it should also work well with his lightning. He looks at his stats. He only has 50 credits. He wonders if this body's owner was always broke. He sighs to think he would have to worry about every credit, but he cannot complain since he did die. He looks down from a balcony at a streamer with cat ears, who is talking about his trendy gear on floor 2. This streamer gets a donation of 100 credits, then another for 1,000. He gets so excited he spills his drink all over himself. Subaru just watches him dance around, wondering if the guy is okay in the head. His eyes narrow. He is putting the pieces together. He looks at his device. It talks about the era of PvP and live streaming. He realizes that is what the cat ear guy was doing. Then someone calls his name. A man with two-toned hair stands over him. He says Subaru made it up here too. This guy takes a step forward, asking if he is staying around. Subaru tenses up. His body is instinctively recoiling. He figures they did not have a good relationship. This man looms over him, annoyed at being ignored. Subaru realizes it is not disgust he feels. It is fear. His hand trembles as he says he just came up. This man leans in, looking surprised. He gives a nasty smirk. Even trash like you managed to clear the tutorial. Subaru glares at him. The man says he was sure the goblins would have killed him, and then it clicks. A memory flashes. This body's original owner, cowering, asking why this is happening. The man's name is Isaac. Isaac stands over him in an alley. Why? Because you are trash, that is why. Isaac says he hated him from the moment he heard his name, and scolds him for failing a simple task. This original Subaru cries that the credits he was given were not enough. Isaac strikes him across the face, telling him not to talk back. He holds up a bag of trash. He says it suits him and that it is his new home. Isaac smirks, warning him what will happen if he ever crawls out. Back in the present, Subaru is seething. He thinks the original owner was an idiot for letting himself get pushed around, and he finally understands why he woke up in a trash can. Isaac brags that he cleared up to step 20, beating his father's record. He says he even got a top-tier B-rank skill as a reward. Subaru sips his drink, telling him to take his time as he heads out. Isaac stops him. He tells Subaru to grab him a coffee and some snacks. He facepalms, calling Subaru as stubborn as ever. Isaac gets angry, asking why he is talking back and if he swapped souls with someone. Subaru gets up. He says he has no credits and tells him to buy his own coffee. Isaac's expression darkens. He just says, sit. Subaru thinks he does not have time for this kid's revenge, unless it gets in the way of his own. His eye widens. Isaac grabs his arm, stopping him from leaving. He asks if Subaru is eager to see what happens to runaway trash. Subaru grits his teeth, telling him to let go for his own good. This entire tavern is watching them now. Isaac's eyes glow. He tells Subaru not to get cocky, a close-up on his glowing red eye. Subaru knows he cannot cause a scene here. It will only hurt him. Isaac just bursts out laughing. He lets go, saying he was just messing with him like old times. He assumes Subaru barely scraped through the tutorial. Subaru plants his foot on the ground. Isaac leans in. He threatens to erase him, reminding him who his father is. He walks away, patting Subaru's shoulder. "Watch yourself, my friend." Subaru watches him go, thinking, what friend? A screen shows two main ways for players to grow. One path is light, the other is dark. Subaru thinks about the two ways to get stronger. This first is through trials, which are safe but cost credits. The second method is hunting. You can hunt monsters in dungeons for faster growth, but if you die in a hunting ground, you die for real. That is why most players avoid the risk, but Subaru is different. He sits next to a defeated orc. Thinking the safer route is slower and the riskier one is faster, he pulls out his device to check something. He scrolls through a social media feed. And he sees a streamer using his old name, Narukami Subaru, with 80,000 viewers. This masked streamer announces he is taking on the Floor 3 trial. Subaru just scoffs, wondering how many copycats are using his old name and mask. A mission pops up on the stream, offering 20 credits. The streamer is ecstatic. Subaru is shocked. He did not even know missions were a thing. This streamer is getting flooded with missions and credits from his viewers. Man, the contrast is stark. The streamer makes easy money while Subaru risks his life. He looks at his own 50 credits, thinking about how much cash that guy is making. He just stares at the streamer's profile. He lets out a sigh. His mind is made up. He pulls his sword from the fallen orc. "Guess I will do one more run." A massive foot stomps down in front of him. A whole new group of orcs appears from the darkness, but our boy just stands his ground, ready for the next fight. A system window pops up. The orc general has appeared. Subaru faces a whole squad of them. He says he has something better than needles today. This cursed sword drains his stamina, but Wedge of Greed fights back. He grits his teeth. "I am busy here." He yells that he has no time for small fry and stomps an orc's face into the ground. He becomes a red blur, cutting through the entire group in an instant. He flips right over the boss's head. The general does not even know what hit him. And with one clean strike, Subaru brings his blade down. A system message confirms it. The nest of the lurking orcs has been cleared. He holds up his old mask. He thinks he never expected to wear this again. He stands in front of a mirror, ready to go all in. He puts it on. He decides to do this his way with what he is best at, and just like that, the legendary masked player is back. He walks out of the dungeon. He thinks he is the real deal anyway. A notification pops up. The live stream has started. We see a sign for Souten Entertainment. We cut to a modern office. Looks pretty empty. A woman in a fancy outfit looks at a screen and she is not happy. She bites her lip, clearly frustrated about something. She throws her device, and it smacks a blue-haired guy right in the face. She kicks her feet up on the desk. "Idiot, moron, trash, dummy. We could not even clear it with 5 people." This guy recovers and looks at the screen with her. He asks who it is this time. She says a name, Subakichi. He asks if it is a fake Narukami Subaru. He figures it is probably a mix of fake and real. He complains that everyone is cosplaying the legend, but she tells him to stop since streamers are their livelihood. He says it is disrespectful to the real players. He asks her if she agrees, calling her Hatsuka. She turns it back on him. "Then why'd you give up on the tower and end up stuck here?" Man, that shut him up. Hatsuka just looks away. She says it is because it is boring. A woman tells a blue-haired man to go find new talent, or she will sew his mouth shut. This man says she only started climbing the tower to meet Narukami Subaru, and then he notices something on a screen. He tells her there is a seriously impressive kid here. She asks if he found another weirdo. He says it is a new Narukami Subaru cosplayer, and we see Subaru's stream with 1 viewer. This man yells at her for watching a Floor 2 stream with 0 viewers. She says that whenever she sees someone wearing that mask, she cannot help but get her hopes up. She mentions 1,000 credits, and the blue-haired man is suddenly on his knees begging for forgiveness. Back with Subaru. The Floor 2 trial begins. He has to clear the Dungeon of Beginnings. He looks at his device, thinking that knowing someone is watching puts on the pressure. A chat message pops up. Someone asks what floor he is on. The viewer count is now 2. This viewer asks if it is his first time. Subaru replies, "Yes, it is my first attempt." This viewer warns him against streaming if he does not know the way. As a monster lurks nearby, a winged creature with one eye lunges straight for him. Subaru just casually grabs it out of the air. He smashes it into the ground with his sword, defeating it instantly. A system window confirms the kill. Subaru's eyes glow. He asks if there is a problem. More system messages appear as Subaru walks deeper into the dungeon. His viewer count is now 3. The chat is impressed with his reflexes but warns him to find a party. Subaru thanks them for the advice but says that is not possible for him. He says he likes to challenge things solo. The chat goes wild, thinking he is a reckless newbie. He knows that just using the name Narukami Subaru will attract viewers. He effortlessly kicks another small monster into the air. He holds his cursed sword, ready for the next fight. He says he will just go as far as he can, flicking a defeated creature off his blade. He gets 2 more achievement points. The chat is confused. They could barely even see what he fought. A swarm of one-eyed bat monsters screeches at a masked figure. He cuts them all down in a single fluid motion. His blade moves like a blur, slicing through the swarm. He does not even flinch as he dispatches another one. His viewers are completely stunned by the display. He gets a few achievement points. Explaining he can tell by the sound, he says he can pinpoint their direction and number. He tells them if they understand the concept, they should be able to do it, but he thinks he still has a long way to go. His chat thinks he is just getting lucky, but our boy just keeps moving forward. He is completely focused on the task at hand, and he looks up to see the ceiling covered in monsters. One of them opens a massive red eye, and suddenly, they all wake up at once, so he posts a mission for his viewers, defeat everything for 100 credits. He calls it his dead stream, but then thanks someone for the credits. Elsewhere, a fist slams down on a desk in frustration. A man with blue hair is losing his mind over a failed player. He apologizes to the woman sitting next to him. She is looking at her own device when something catches her eye. This man asks her what she is watching. He suddenly panics, promising to pay her back, but she tells him that is not it. She says Subaru's name, revealing she is watching his stream. A man with blue hair stares at his device in disbelief. It is a live stream of Subaru fighting. The chat is losing its mind, asking how he is taking down so many by himself. A close-up on Subaru and his glowing red sword. The text just says that Subaru is amazing. We flash back to a training session. A man with long white hair watches him. He notes that Subaru's form never breaks, even mid-swing. He thinks it is all planned from the start. This younger Subaru just looks back at him, a little confused. This man asks what he is thinking. Subaru says he is not thinking of anything in particular. The man just calls him a show-off. Back in the present, Subaru thinks about how to communicate his strategy. He says not to aim for each bat individually. He explains that these one-eyed bats always lunge head first, so the more there are, the more openings they create. This bats lunge forward, and he just says, like this. He cuts them all down in a single motion. The chat is still confused, saying his explanation did not help at all. Our boy just sighs. He thinks to himself that communication is really hard. A chat message reminds him to claim his credits. He says, ah, right, so he pulls out his device to check. He just stares at it blankly. The chat asks if he is spacing out. He scratches his head, asking how you actually claim them. Man, the chat realizes he is a total beginner at this. Someone tells him to hit the claim button. A mission cleared window pops up, awarding him 100 credits. He says the next one will be the last, and walks off. His total credits are now 150. Suddenly, we cut to a tall building at night, and someone screams as they fall. This woman watching the stream is ecstatic. The blue-haired man thinks she is the crazy one. She asks if he has ever seen anything like this. He tells her she is overreacting. It is only floor 2. She leaps up. Yelling that of course she's going to react, he just backs away, saying okay, my bad. She gets all starry-eyed. She says his name is Narukami Subaru from Earth. She thinks it is fate. She wonders if he could be Narukami Subaru reborn, like in a reincarnation story. The man thinks she completely loses it whenever the name comes up. She says she is getting dizzy. She asks the man, Kiyoharu, if she just closes her eyes like this. Kiyoharu panics. He asks if she is planning to scout this guy. She yells back asking what is wrong with that. He says Subaru is just a new streamer with no viewers. He warns her they will get chewed out by the chief. She calls him out for gambling just a minute ago. Hatsuka just looks at her device with a determined smirk. Just you wait and see. She watches the stream, focused on the masked player, back in the dungeon. Subaru stands before a massive gate. He has reached the end. He peeks around the corner. He is here. This giant stone doors begin to open. Subaru walks through the opening. He knows what is waiting. A massive wolf-like creature sits on a throne of stone. It stands up, revealing its full size. This is Wolf Warrior Greg. The chat is freaking out. A system window pops up. He has to earn Greg's recognition to proceed. Subaru explains that Wolf Warriors are not monsters, but gatekeepers who test a player's strength, and then a new mission appears from a viewer. Defeat the Wolf Warrior for 3,000 credits. Subaru is stunned. He says 3,000 credits. This stream shows him facing the boss. The chat says you are not even supposed to beat this guy. A close-up on the Wolf Warrior's massive arm, another shot of its powerful leg. Man, this guy is huge. This system identifies him. Wolf Warrior Greg, gatekeeper of floor 2. This Wolf Warrior's eyes glow. He says, a guest, huh? Subaru stands his ground, ready to earn the warrior's recognition. This Wolf Warrior looks down at him, asking if he is alone. He asks again, are you really by yourself? Subaru just says, you can see that, cannot you? This Wolf Warrior leans in close. You are an interesting human. I can smell a great warrior on you. Subaru thinks to himself, the wolf tribe can distinguish special scents. She says he has over 40 viewers now. The boss is literally on fire with rage. Back in the dungeon, Subaru faces the massive werewolf. This werewolf shows its claws, getting into a battle stance. Subaru grips his cursed sword, telling himself to clear his mind. A system window explains the sword is draining his stamina to boost his stats. He tells himself to stay calm. Another window confirms Wedge of Greed is resisting the backlash. His eye glows red. He tells himself to fight just like he always has. This werewolf lunges forward in a blur of motion. Subaru meets the attack head-on. His sword clashes with the werewolf's claws. This werewolf swipes down with its other claw. But Subaru is too fast. He dodges under the attack. He slides right past the werewolf's legs. He looks back, ready to counter. This werewolf turns. Surprised by his speed, it growls. Not bad. Subaru just smirks behind his mask. He says he's just getting started. He charges forward again, his sword glowing brighter. He leaps into the air, spinning for a powerful strike. This werewolf raises its arm to block. This impact creates a massive shockwave. This werewolf is pushed back, its arm smoking from the hit. It looks at its wounded arm in disbelief. Subaru lands gracefully, ready for the next exchange. He tells the werewolf it is time to end this. Subaru clashes head-on with the massive wolf warrior. He digs his heels into the ground, struggling to hold his position. Man, this thing is strong. The sheer force is overwhelming. Subaru admits that trying to match it in raw power is a stretch. This wolf warrior seems impressed. It thinks he is a true warrior. It swings its massive claw down in a powerful arc, but Subaru dodges. You are no match for me, though. He tightens his grip on the cursed sword. He parries another blow. The chat is losing its mind. Subaru faces the beast. Thinking there are ways more effective than brute strength, he smirks. You have entertained me, warrior. This wolf says this is as far as he goes and lunges forward, but Subaru easily sidesteps the attack. His eyes glow red from behind the mask. That is my line. This wolf is shocked. Subaru says its attacks are way too predictable. He says that makes them easy to dodge as he lands a clean hit. This beast roars in pain. Subaru leaps into the air. He readies his blade for another strike. He brings the cursed sword down in a vicious red arc. He prepares to follow up, not giving it a moment to recover. This wolf warrior is fatally wounded. It calls him a splendid warrior. And with that, the boss collapses. A system window confirms its defeat. A series of notifications pop up. Level up, stats increased, and fatigue has increased. He gets 500 achievement points. The chat is in absolute disbelief. Subaru looks exhausted, but he did it. The viewer count has jumped to 56. A mission cleared window pops up. He gets 3 credits. He says he will put them to good use. His total credits are now 3.15. A massive door opens before him. He seems a little surprised by what he sees. He is presented with a whole bunch of different trial paths. His chat is going wild, discussing the different types and how they lock in your playstyle. A system window asks if he wants to challenge the Trial of Thunder. The chat is hyped. Subaru just says, alright then. He thinks to himself that if he backed out here, he would have to change his name, and with that, he steps through the glowing gate. Back in the office, Hatsuka and her team are glued to the screen. She absolutely loses it, screaming with joy, he did it. She is ecstatic. He already has 60 viewers and 13 missions. A man with a scar on his face admits that it is impressive, especially since he beat the wolf warrior. But he is still just a rookie on floor 2. He thinks it would be a massive risk to jump on this. Hatsuka turns to the man, the chief, and proposes a bet. If Subaru fails, she and Kiyoharu freeze their salaries for 5 years, but if he succeeds, the chief has to sign him. Kiyoharu is freaking out, yelling that he does not even know this person. This chief asks if she really thinks he has a chance. The only player to ever learn thunder was the original Narukami Subaru. Hatsuka just gives him a confident smile. You will not know unless you let him try, right? This chief smirks and accepts the bet, while Kiyoharu is being held back. Back with Subaru, the Trial of Thunder begins. Blue energy surges around him. He looks around the new area when someone yells, "Look out!" Another player tackles him out of the way just in time. A massive force slams into the ground right where he was standing. A huge white golem-like monster looms over them. The other player looks up at it. A man with a ponytail yells at Subaru for spacing out. Subaru is on one knee. He gets a new mission: defeat the giant fragment. A massive monster swings a club down at him. The chat is going crazy. Subaru is sweating. He wonders why this thing is already here. He realizes it is a boss monster. It is not supposed to show up until later. This giant's club smashes into the ground, but our boy dodges it easily. This ponytail guy tells him to run, but Subaru thinks the monster is just big and clumsy. He decides to end this quickly. His cursed sword and wedge of greed activate. This giant swings again. Subaru faces it head-on. He sidesteps the attack. The club just barely misses him. He dodges another swing. The ground shatters behind him. He plants his foot right on the giant's club, and he launches himself forward, his eyes glowing red. He flies right over the giant's head. The other guy is just stunned. Subaru runs up the giant's arm like it is nothing. He drives his glowing red sword deep into its neck. He lands on its shoulder. He says, "You are noisy." He holds his sword. "Stay quiet for the rest of your life." This ponytail guy is on the giant's other shoulder, all stabbing its neck. This giant's eyes go white. It is over. This monster collapses. A system window confirms the kill. Stage 4 is cleared, and just like that, Subaru levels up. He gets more strength and agility. He also gets more vitality and magic, plus some new items. A giant's heart and thunder armor. This ponytail guy just stares in disbelief. He asks, "Who are you?" A man with a scar on his face is in shock. The chat is freaking out over a 4-point drop. He runs over to Subaru. "Ah, it is you." The chat finds his sudden politeness hilarious. This man asks what Subaru is. Our boy just asks, "You can see it, cannot you?" Subaru points a bloody finger. "I am here to slay giants." Man, straight to the point. We cut to a quiet, peaceful-looking village. A few people walk along the stone path between the houses. Subaru sits alone in a room, looking at his device. This chat is clamoring to see the items he got from the clear. He says he was curious too and opens up the reward screen. Then let us take a look together. This first item is a ring called Giant's Heart. It boosts vitality and recovery. Nice. Next up is some armor he wanted. It is a rare piece called Thunder Armor. He tries on the new gear. A mission pops up. A viewer offers 5 credits if he learns thunder. And just like that, more missions pour in. All of them are for thunder. Subaru looks at all the offers. He thanks everyone and promises to show them. He thinks about how many people are waiting for him to use that skill. He realizes the original Narukami Subaru was even more special than he thought. He opens the door. Here you go. The chat jokes about him eavesdropping. 2 men are waiting outside, the scarred man and a blonde knight. This scarred man introduces the knight. This is Sir Peleus, captain of the village knights. He explains that giant raids have been getting more frequent, so for safety, they have asked the villagers to stay inside. He says it is rare to see an outsider during times like these. Peleus steps forward to thank Subaru for protecting the village. Subaru says he only did what anyone should. He thinks the name, Peleus. Peleus explains that on their last scouting mission, they found the leader of the giants. Peleus says they intend to settle this with them once and for all. He and the scarred man bow deeply. He says even if it costs them their lives. He begs Subaru for help. Subaru just stands there as Peleus bows. The chat is begging him to save the village. Subaru's eyes narrow. He tells the chat no spoilers, stop it. He thinks back to a memory of a dying Peleus. He thinks if my memory is right. He finishes the thought. In the next stage, Peleus dies. Damn, Subaru reaches out and stops Peleus from bowing. He offers his hand. Please raise your head, I will help. Peleus shakes his hand gratefully. A system window announces Stage 5 will now begin. This entire group of knights and villagers runs through the wilderness. Subaru walks with them, checking his device. He thinks that with more viewers, the chat flies by too fast to communicate. Peleus suddenly holds up a hand, telling everyone to halt. The scarred man points ahead. There he is. They see a giant lying on the ground. It is the giant chief, a massive, muscular being with a white beard. Peleus readies his shield. He tells Subaru he will draw its attention, but Subaru puts a hand on his shoulder, telling him to wait. Peleus looks back, confused. Subaru is staring at the giant. That thing. Subaru plants his feet firmly on the ground. Suddenly, Peleus and the other knights look terrified. Subaru's eyes glow from behind his mask. It is not alone. This giant chief's single eye begins to crack open. Its eye is now fully open. It is awake, and all around it, more giants begin to rise from the ground. A whole army of them emerges. They are completely surrounded. Man, this is not good. Peleus is having a flashback, screaming in anguish. Why? This giant leader crushes one of his knights with its bare hands. It cuts through the rest of the squad, who are screaming for help. We see the carnage reflected in Peleus's horrified eye. This giant just grins, its face splattered with blood. Man, pure evil. Peleus orders a full retreat down the mountain. But the giants are right on their heels. It is an absolute rout. One of his men is crushed under a giant's foot. A younger knight is held back by his comrades, screaming for it to stop. He cries out for his big brother, who was just killed. Damn, that is rough. Peleus tries to hold the line. He yells that it is an order to fall back. He tells them to think of their families, to regroup and come back. He tells a man named Falcon to lead the others away. He's staying behind, but back in the present. Subaru grabs his shoulder, stopping him. Peleus tells Subaru he needs to run too. He is ready to sacrifice himself. Subaru just looks at him. That is my line. Peleus is confused. Subaru asks him, "You are not running." He says he cannot move freely with Peleus here. If he stays, they will die together. Peleus refuses. He says he could never abandon an outsider and flee. He finally relents. He will go rally the men and ask Subaru to hold out. He runs off, yelling that he owes Subaru his life and to stay safe. This giants roar, charging forward, and our boy stands alone, facing the entire horde. He readies his cursed blade. Your opponent is me. What? He dashes forward in a blur of red and black, slicing a giant's leg. Subaru is a blur of motion, cutting down giants left and right. This remaining giants just growl in frustration. He stands his ground. A system window confirms 2 more kills, he thinks to himself. Even if it is only a trial, being the one left behind like this is still not something I am used to. Elsewhere, Peleus is running through the woods. He stops for a moment, looking back with concern. Man, he looks really worried. He grits his teeth, clearly stressed out. Back with Subaru, he is completely surrounded. The chat thinks this is suicide. Subaru thinks about how Peleus was supposed to die here, but now he might be able to save everyone. 2 giants swing down at him at once, but our boy is just too fast. He cuts one down easily, and he spins right into the next one. Another clean kill. A system window explains his sword is draining his stamina for power. He thinks they are not so tough one-on-one. This real problem is how long he can keep this up. He decides his first priority is to find the boss, so he uses a giant's head as a launch pad. As you do, he flies through the air, a whirlwind of red energy. He just keeps moving, cutting a path through the horde. This giant's reach for him, but they are way too slow. He lands a solid kick right to a giant's face. Damn, he is just a blur of death. The chat notes this was the original Subaru's signature combat style. A system window confirms Wedge of Greed is helping him recover. He thinks the new gear really makes a difference. His eye glows. He knows he has to find the boss before he runs out of steam, and then he sees him, a massive, bearded giant standing in the distance. This giant leader spots him with a nasty grin. There, it swings a massive club down while Subaru leaps right at it. He knows he has to end this in one shot or he is dead. This giant brings its weapon down with incredible force. Subaru focuses everything he has, hoping this works. He reaches out his hand, gathering red energy. A system window pops up. He is using thunderclap, and a massive blast of golden lightning erupts from him. This other giants all clutch their heads, stunned by the attack. Even the leader is staggered. Dropping its club, it roars in anger. Damn, human. Subaru seizes the chance, driving his sword into its neck. The sword drains his stamina. He puts every last bit of strength into the blow. This cursed blade cuts deep into the giant's flesh. He grits his teeth, pushing the attack through. This giant looks on in shock as blood pours from its mouth, and with one final push, its head is nearly torn from its shoulders. This giant seed collapses. A system window confirms its defeat. He has cleared stage 5. The system calls it a remarkable feat, and he gets a double level up with a bunch of stat increases. Nice. This chat is losing it. They say this stage is not even supposed to be beatable. Subaru thinks this would be the cool final shot in a story, but the sky darkens and lightning flashes. It is not over. A whole new wave of giants appears, surrounding him. Geez, give the guy a break, and to make matters worse, a notification pops up. His wedge of greed failed to resist the cursed sword. Man, that is not good. Subaru runs from the giant. He says right. He remembers a rule: even if you clear the stage, this monsters do not disappear until the whole exam is over. He realizes the mechanic he exploited is coming back to bite him. He grits his teeth. This is bad. His strength is already fading, and the monsters are closing in. Suddenly, a dark energy with golden light starts to swirl. It seems to pour into Subaru, covering him completely. And then it just erupts from the ground. We cut to a quiet forest. Sunlight streams through the trees. It looks so peaceful here. A small wooden cabin sits in a clearing. A woman with dark hair sits on the porch, looking at her device. She seems completely absorbed in whatever she is watching. Then a man with long white hair shows up. He asks what she is doing out here. She just comments on the nice weather. She says you can only enjoy it like this right now. He says it is almost time. She agrees, a year at most. He looks grim. Time to finally put an end to it. He notices she is still on her device. He says she always does this when things get serious. He leans over, asking what has her so focused. She shows him a picture of Subaru. He calls himself Narukami Subaru. This man loses it. Subaru, did you just say Subaru? She tells him it is not that Subaru. She explains it is just a streamer using the name. The screen shows Subaru's live feed. She looks down, a little wistful. You know it too, do not you? A man with white hair says if Subaru had survived, Kyojo Itsuki would have been erased. This woman tells him Subaru is dead, and it is time he accepted that. This man, Shigeru, turns to leave, telling her to drop it. She gets angry, asking how long he will hide in that kid's shadow. He just looks back at her. Then what about you? He asks why she is watching this stream in the first place. She says she is just killing time, looking away. But then she sees something on her screen that makes her gasp. Shigeru grabs the device from her, annoyed that she is still obsessed. But then he sees it too. His eyes go wide in the dark. This screen shows a player at the center of a massive golden explosion. This energy reveals a group of giant stone monsters. A system window pops up. Skill Thunder has been acquired. Subaru stands there, covered in energy. The chat is losing it. He thinks to himself that this is not where you are supposed to learn this skill. A window details the plus rank Thunder skill. He is just glad he survived. And then the mission rewards pour in. Thousands of credits. His total credits jump to over 20. He says it is time for a little performance. This stone monsters roar and charge forward. He says he will show them something, and spends 20 credits to level up Wedge of Greed. His skill is now resisting the backlash from the new thunder power. Lightning gathers in his hand, but he decides to stop there. He stands his ground, ready to face the charging horde. This monster's close in, one of them grinning menacingly. He clenches his fist, and the lightning transfers into his cursed sword. He says it is time to cut loose, like in the old days, and he becomes a whirlwind of red and black energy. He carves through the stone monsters without a second thought. Just pure, unfiltered destruction. But after the dust settles, Subaru is panting hard. He thinks he was supposed to save some strength to get back. He falls to his knees, surrounded by the wreckage. He misjudged it. As he catches his breath, he sees a group approaching in the distance. It is Peleus and the Knights. They actually came back for him. Peleus just stares in total shock. He sees Subaru and yells out, running towards him. Subaru just stays on one knee, completely spent. He lets out a heavy sigh. He thinks Peleus is an idiot for coming all this way back. We see a blurry image of Peleus reaching out to him. We cut to a modern office. A device sits on a desk. This dark-haired woman from the cabin is on her knees, head in her hands. Two men stand over her. One man asks if this was worth it. The other says he does not understand women. This woman is freaking out. She thinks this is bad. She looks up, completely flustered, wondering what to do. She worries her message came off too cold, too businesslike. One of the men asks if she is in love with him and mentions her wanting to be a manager. She snaps, "I cannot help it. I am a hardcore fan before I am his manager." She stands up and points at the scarred man, calling him chief. She declares the thunder skill now belongs to multiple Narukami Subarus, not just the original. An older man with gray hair smirks. He thinks Subaru is someone to keep an eye on. A woman with brown hair gets super excited. She tells her chief something. She says it looks like Narukami Subaru read their email, but her face falls. He left them on read. Man, that is cold. She turns into a white husk. The other guys just watch. One says she died on her feet. We see a shelf full of character figures. A man says, all right then. A streamer sits at a massive computer setup. He says it is time to get started. A text box introduces him. A combat analyst streamer known as Hawkeye. He talks about a dark horse tearing up the tower, a player named Kurikawa Ammon. He also mentions Kyojo Itsuki, a player representing Earth itself, and of course, he brings up the cross-generational legend, Narukami Subaru. A big red live icon pops up. Hawkeye greets his viewers. He says today they are breaking down the hottest player right now, Narukami Subaru. The chat is skeptical. He puts his hand on his mouse, telling the chat not to shoot the kid down from the start. He pulls up Subaru's stream. The chat is going crazy. He says, oh, this is insane. Hawkeye is sweating, a huge grin on his face. Oh my god, he watches Subaru fight. He says the kid just learned the skill and is using it like he is not human. He points out how Subaru is controlling the skill perfectly, not wasting a single drop of power. The chat is in awe. He says Subaru has not made a single mistake. He wonders where this monster even came from. He makes a circle over his eye. He declares that this guy is going to be a big name. A chat message asks about his final recap. He says he almost forgot his one-line comment. His eye glows gold. He says in terms of control alone, this kid might already be better than the original Subaru in his prime. We cut back to Subaru. He looks completely drained. He gasps and sits up in a bed. A system window says Stage 6 is on standby and he can pause the trial. He runs a hand through his hair. He thinks even if his fatigue is gone, his mind is still tired. He decides to take a break. Subaru looks at his device. He says, he thanks everyone for watching. He is surprised at how high his viewer count got. He tells them he is taking a one-day break. The next stream will be the day after tomorrow. A system window announces that Narukami Subaru has ended the live stream. He steps into the trial waiting room. He stands alone in a vast white space. In the distance, he sees a stone gate. He gets a message. It is an offer from a company called Sout Entertainment. He takes off his mask, wondering if it is spam. He says the name out loud. Sout Entertainment. We cut to a sunny day outside a cafe. Subaru sits at a table, still looking at his device. He reads up on the company. It is a major network for streamers. He thinks the world has really changed. He realizes they are a pretty big deal in the entertainment industry. He reads comments about a streamer named Hawkeye praising him. He learns Hawkeye is with Sout and is known for being a blunt commentator. Subaru smirks. He thinks the guy has a good eye for talent. Elsewhere, a man in black boots walks down a stone path. This man with slick back hair approaches the same building. He reads the same comment about Subaru possibly surpassing the original. He is not happy about it. Do not screw with me. He is just a rookie who barely made it to floor 2. His eyes glow red with rage. He says he will gouge Hawkeye's eyes out himself. He stomps his foot on the ground. He heads inside, muttering about a crappy start to his morning. He turns back with a nasty grin. Man, this guy looks like trouble. A man with silver hair watches Subaru from across the room. He thinks is today cursed or something. He complains that everywhere he looks, it is Subaru, Subaru, Subaru. He walks right up to Subaru's table, looking down on him. And he kicks the table, sending Subaru's coffee flying. Subaru jumps back, yelling that it is hot. This man just smirks. Oops, my bad. He recognizes him. Subaru. He says they have been bumping into each other a lot. The second floor must be small. Subaru just ignores him, looking at his device. This man offers to buy him a new coffee. He says Subaru should be grateful since he is always broke. This man's eye glows red. He is clearly looking for a fight. Subaru just gets up and walks away. The man calls out to him. Our boy turns back. I am pretty sure I warned you last time. Did you lose a screw in your head or what? This man grabs him by the shirt. You little punk. He gets right in his face. He threatens to crush him just like the old days. Subaru says sorry and grabs the man's wrist. He says he does not have time for this and squeezes. The man grunts in pain. This bully is shocked. He wonders if Subaru was always this strong. Subaru lets go and walks off. Let us just say you have paid me back for the coffee. Thanks for the treat. This man is absolutely furious. He screams at him, but Subaru is already out the door. Get back here. This door swings shut behind him. This silver-haired man sighs. He was trying to climb the tower quietly for once. He clenches his fists, his eyes glowing. He mutters Subaru's name. He says they both just had to rile him up and runs out the door. Back in the village, Subaru looks at his device. Oh, right. He taps the screen, sending a message. We cut to a bubble bath where someone is playing with a rubber duck. It is the dark-haired woman. She sees a message from Narukami. Let us meet again soon. And we are back with Subaru. He is in a dark dungeon, surrounded by defeated lizard men. His cursed sword glows with a dark golden energy. A system window announces the boss room, the exiled lizardman's hideout. His wedge of greed is resisting the sword's backlash. He thinks he is getting used to this body, and the boss appears. A massive flaming lizard called Salamander. It lets out a ferocious roar. Man, what a monster. Subaru gets into a fighting stance. He needs to test his new thunder skill. He wants to see just how far he can push its maximum output. Golden lightning gathers around his legs, cracking the ground. This salamander leaps down, a blur of fire and claws. Subaru dodges, a ghostly image of the original Subaru appears behind him. This beast roars in frustration, missing its attack. It unleashes a massive stream of fire right at him. Subaru channels the thunder from his legs into his sword, and he leaps straight into the inferno. A system window says Wedge of Greed is trying to resist the backlash, but it is failing. His skill level is rising. He brings his sword down, the ghost of the original Subaru mirroring his move. He slices right through the salamander, cutting it in two, and just like that, the dungeon is cleared. He gets a level up and some stat boosts. Subaru walks out of the dungeon and up a set of stone stairs into the night. He checks his fatigue. It is at 61. He thinks he can push his power even higher. He looks at his skill screen. Wedge of Desire costs 40 credits. Man, needing double to level up is brutal. Subaru sighs. He wonders about hunting and hopes for a job offer. A close-up on his determined golden eye. He is in the woods at night. A dark silhouette stands in the distance. This guy walks closer. He asks, "You going hunting?" This man is in a dark hood, his eyes glowing menacingly. He pulls back his hood, revealing a man with a wicked grin. He says, "We have known each other a long time and that still surprises me." Subaru just glares at him. He calls him a persistent guy. This man says he tried to think it through, but he got too pissed to hold back. They stand facing each other, ready for a confrontation. This man smirks. He asks, "How about we call it quits between us?" Subaru just scoffs. We cut to a city at night. A flying ship sails past a tall clock tower. A young man with blonde hair and a cool jacket stands in a doorway. A hand reaches out from off-screen. A voice says, "Found you." This hand belongs to an older man with blonde hair and a scar, sitting at a table. This younger man sits down with him. The older man says, "Yo, long time no see." The kid asks how streaming is going. This streamer grins. He says it is so-so, and his viewer numbers have not really changed. This older man sips his drink. He says that is healthier, and what is built slowly does not crumble easily. This streamer gets impatient. He asks why he was dragged out here, calling the older man Hawkeye. Hawkeye gets to the point. He says, "It is about Narukami Subaru, the guy you reviewed yesterday." He asks if he meant what he said. This streamer takes a sip. He says, "In terms of raw talent alone, I think he is above Narukami Subaru in his prime." His eye glows gold. He adds that whether the kid can actually reach that level is another story. Hawkeye asks why he is asking. The streamer says, "I am thinking of scouting him to our agency." He grins and gives a thumbs up. "That is our boss, good eye." But he thinks Subaru's viewer count is too low to scout. Hawkeye's boss agrees. He says hearing that just gave him real confidence in the kid. He looks determined. He wants Hawkeye and Narukami Subaru to collab. Back in the woods, the bully smirks. He says right now, "It is just the two of them here." Subaru just says yeah, looking bored. This bully mocks him. He says this is what happens when you get cocky and wander into dungeons. He gets right in Subaru's face. He asks if our boy really thinks he has become the real Narukami Subaru. Subaru's hand clenches. He thinks about the original Subaru, that bastard. This bully's eyes glow red. He says every last one of them gets on his nerves. Subaru grabs him by the collar, asking right. He looks down. He never imagined he would end up in an era overflowing with fakes. He looks up. He has one question for the guy. "Why do you hate me that much?" He asks if it is just because of his name. He says everyone else loves it. This bully is stunned into silence. He just says you. He gets angry, asking if Subaru knows who his father is. Subaru just calls him out for being too old to bring up his dad. We see a flashback of a man on a throne of swords. His name is Reinhardt, a high ranker on floor 9. Subaru's eye widens. He recognizes the name, Reinhardt, the one-strike swordsman. This flashback continues. A news report about something unbelievable happening. This original Narukami Subaru defeated the ranker Reinhardt, and he did it with a single strike, leaving a massive crater. This fight was over in less than 30 seconds. Reinhardt lies on the ground, beat. He tries to get up, saying he can still fight, but he collapses back into the crater, completely defeated. Back in the present, the bully is furious. He screams at Subaru not to say that name so lightly. Subaru puts it together. The guy hates him because of his father's title, the one-strike swordsman. Now Subaru gets angry. He asks if the bully has any idea how much Hoso Subaru suffered because of that. This slick-back guy is furious, surrounded by flames. He warns Subaru to shut up. Subaru's boot stomps down. He just says no. Subaru looks up, completely unfazed by the flames. This bully looms over him, his fist crackling with fire. This flame user's eyes glow red. He is entering a dungeon boss room. He rants about how much he hates Narukami Subaru. He blames the original Subaru for the fall of the Blue Eyes Guild. He smirks, saying it serves them right. He laughs, thinking the original Subaru is rotting in hell. He tells our boy his fate was sealed the moment he took that name, and he unleashes a massive explosion. He looks confident, blowing away the smoke. He acts like he misjudged his strength, saying he did something awful. Man, what a psycho. He grins, saying he will go after the masked streamer next. He stops. The word mask catches his attention. He looks back at the burning crater, and a voice from the flames asks, "You mean this?" This flame user cannot believe it. He demands to know how Subaru is unharmed. Subaru stomps his foot, saying it does not feel good. He says being looked down on by a brat like him. And he lands a solid punch right in the guy's face. This flame user's eye goes wide with pain. Subaru slams him down to the ground. This guy spits blood, glaring up with pure hatred. Subaru stands over the bully. It pisses me off when people badmouth those guys. This bully coughs up blood. Why are you here? He thinks it is impossible. Subaru looks down at him. Pop quiz. He asks who the bully thinks he is. Haas Subaru, the crybaby you used to bully. Narukami Subaru, the masked streamer. Subaru takes off his mask, his eyes glowing gold. Or Narukami Subaru of blue eyes. This bully is on his knees in disbelief. Do not talk crap, so what? You're saying you are that streamer Narukami Subaru. He gets up, sneering. He says thunder is not a big deal. If trash like you can learn it. His hand erupts in flames. You really think that is enough for a nobody like you to beat me? Subaru just watches. The bully claims this makes him better than the original Subaru. He lunges forward with a flaming claw. Is not that right, you bastard? But a dark slash cuts right through his attack. This bully is completely stunned. Subaru's arm is cut, but he is unfazed. Too bad, wrong answer. You really can talk a whole lot of nonsense. This bully freezes, a sword at his throat. Wait, what do you mean by that? A close-up on his terrified eye. Subaru's face is dark. Do you have any idea how much Haas Subaru suffered because of all this? His eyes glow from behind the mask. It ticks me off, hearing you trash talk those guys when you are just some brat. This bully starts to put it all together. He stammers, "And no way." He finally recognizes him. Why you are B blue eyes, Naruka. Subaru cuts him off with a vicious slash. A cold look in his eye. Playtime's over. This bully's body hits the dirt. Subaru adjusts his mask. That should count as more than enough service. He stands over the body. Let us call it payment for borrowing this body. We cut to a cafe. A waitress asks what that guy was doing. The other says some Narukami Subaru fanboy. Subaru sits alone in the cafe. He thinks about how embarrassing it is to be streaming. But he has a policy, never show his real face. It is a big advantage. Suddenly, a woman rushes in. Sorry, kept you waiting. She is blushing and nervous. She says she is the one who contacted him. She introduces herself as his prospective manager. Hatsuka, they shake hands. He introduces himself. She is just thrilled to finally meet him. She stares at him, completely starstruck. You really do look just like him. Her mind is racing. She wonders if the original Subaru actually survived and is hiding behind a mask. Subaru asks if something is wrong. She snaps out of it, totally flustered. She remembers her boss yelling at her to not look unreliable. Man, she totally blew it. She grabs her head, having a mini meltdown. Subaru just watches. He asks, so you were a fan of the original Narukami Subaru? She says she is a die-hard fan. He tells her to relax. He is not the real one. But she is not having it. That may be, but I am your fan too. She lists off all his early stream accomplishments in perfect detail. Our boy is a little surprised. He says she remembers everything better than he does. He thinks it feels strange. She says that is why she thought it was fate and begged to be his manager. She collects herself, trying to act professional. She says the contract is ready. She lays it on the table. The company will help create value for the Narukami Subaru brand. He asks what he needs to do. She tells him to just keep streaming. He wonders if streamers are usually this spoiled. She says it is because he is the first to learn thunder. He interrupts her sales pitch. He asks if all Souten managers are like her. She gets flustered again, saying everyone else is more reliable. He tells her that is not what he meant. He can tell from her aura that she is not a normal player. He wonders if someone this strong is just a manager. Subaru gets serious. This means his future opponents will be even stronger. He needs to pick up the pace. This dark-haired woman is panicking. She thinks she left a bad impression and worries he will turn her down, but Subaru reaches out his hand. He says, I can tell you are someone I can trust. She is completely stunned. He offers a handshake. I am looking forward to working with you. She shakes his hand, completely flustered. She says it is an honor. And we are back in the game. Subaru is live and the chat is already hyped. His viewer count is already at 703. Subaru is surprised. He thinks it must be thanks to Hatsuka's promotion. A little chibai Hatsuka types away happily. A message thanks everyone for tuning in. Subaru looks at his device. He says, all right, let us get started. A system window announces the start of Stage Legend. This scene shifts to a rainy encampment in the woods. Two figures walk through the camp in the downpour. Inside a tent, a group of knights gather around a map. Peleus is leading the meeting. Peleus asks if their benefactor has arrived. The knight next to him says not yet. Another knight voices his doubts. He does not trust an outsider who is not even a knight. He tells Peleus he might have been tricked. He questions if it was really the giant chief. Peleus gets angry. He yells, how can you say that? Just then, another knight enters. He announces their benefactor has awoken, and there is Subaru. Peleus rushes over to check on him. Subaru tells him he is fine and can walk on his own. This other knights stare at Subaru. They mutter that he does not look strong and his mask is shady. Subaru's eyes glow. He says it sounds like they do not believe him, or maybe they just do not want to. We get a flashback of Hatsuka explaining a feature. He can set his mic so only the viewers can hear him. Subaru thinks to himself how cheeky that is. The chat loves his confidence. An older knight with gray hair steps forward, extending a hand. He says, first, let me thank you. He introduces himself. I am Dale. This knight shakes Subaru's hand. He says he was guarding the village when everyone got crushed. This knight looks grim. He says it was by that thing. He asks if there is something even more dangerous than the boss. Subaru says yes. This knight explains that the true giants who fought the gods were sealed away. And the giants they see now are just remnants left behind. But the one that appeared after the boss was different, closer to the legends. Man, he is panicking. This knights all stand around Subaru. The chat is talking about floor 8 tier threats. Subaru just says, then we just have to beat it. This knight calls him confident. Another one says it is easy for him to talk. Peleus steps forward, calling out to his benefactor. He tells them an old legend about fragments of lightning hidden on a mountain summit. He looks determined. He says he believes it, and he says only one person can find them. Looking right at Subaru, we see a flashback. A village is burning and people are fleeing for their lives. Giants are rampaging. A new long-haired giant appears. He says, my son. This new giant is surrounded by a fiery aura. He says, I will. He swats a knight away like a fly. Another knight screams for him to stop. He holds the tiny knight in his hand. He says, I swear. And he crushes the knight in his fist. Geez, this giant's hand is covered in blood. He says, I will lay you to rest with human blood. This giant's terrifying face is reflected in Subaru's eye. Subaru sits on a horse, looking up at the giant on a cliff. The chat is freaking out. He calls it the one-eyed guardian. The chat realizes this is a real giant. Peleus says it will take the giants 3 days to reach them. He tells Subaru to run if he has not found the thunder by then. We see a massive, jagged mountain peak in the pouring rain, Millennium Mountain. Subaru rides through the rain, thinking lightning is essential to slay a giant. He is resolute. The original Subaru's ghost appears. He says, in this tower, there is no trial I cannot clear. Subaru cringes a little. Damn, that old catchphrase just slipped out. This chat starts posting missions and betting credits on him. He is glad they did not catch on. He grips the reins tightly, pushing forward. He urges the horse on, racing through the storm. Subaru dismounts, his boot landing on the rocky ground. He looks around. So the lightning fragment is hidden here. He and his horse stand at the base of a massive cliff face. He places a hand on the rock, as if sensing something. We flash back to Peleus. He says the lightning fragments are just legends. Subaru asks how to get them. Peleus admits they only know the location. But Peleus holds up a finger. He says one thing is certain. Someone who wielded lightning once annihilated the giants. We cut to Hatsuka on the phone. Her boss asks how it went. She pumps her fist in the air. The contract's signed, Chief. Her boss laughs. Hatsuka, you have finally become a proper member of society. She laughs, wondering if that was a compliment. He says he met with Hawkeye. He tells her Hawkeye has something to talk to her about soon. She flops onto her bed. All right, work's done. Time to watch a stream. She looks at her phone, her face blushing with excitement. She holds up the screen, showing Subaru's stream. This is the peak otaku experience. On her phone, Subaru says the line, in this tower, there is no trial I cannot clear. A close-up of her eye, it goes wide. She sits bolt upright in shock. Golden lightning strikes the peak of Millennium Mountain. Subaru stands in the downpour. The chat is going wild. He plants his foot on the ground. He says, let us see which is tougher. He clenches his fist. We will go all out. And he punches the ground, sending out a shockwave of golden energy. He lands back on the cracked earth. He grins through the rain. Found you. His boots stand firm on the shattered rock. He clenches his glowing fist. The chat is buzzing. He can feel it. A massive lightning power is pulling at his own, and it is coming from beyond a massive stone door set into the mountain. He takes a step forward. This chat is in awe of the giant door. They tell him to just break it. Subaru places his hand on the stone surface. Lightning arcs from the door to his hand. He says that is a very easy hint. He powers up. The wedge of greed resists the backlash. He thinks the real trial is inside. He clenches his fist, gathering a massive amount of energy. He pulls his arm back. He says, if it is calling out to me this strongly. He throws the punch. I might as well answer. His fist smashes into the door, shattering it with a brilliant flash. This massive stone doors are blown wide open. They grind apart, revealing the path forward. Subaru stands at the entrance to a glowing corridor. The chat knows something big is coming. He looks into the light, completely silent. And our boy takes his first step inside. Subaru walks out into the pouring rain. A system window announces the path walked by thunder. He cannot leave until it is cleared, back at the camp. The knights stand guard in the rain, inside the tent. The knights are still planning their next move. This older knight asks, Peleus, do you really believe he can obtain thunder? Peleus looks confident. He says he is sure of it. He says Subaru has already proven his strength. There is no room for doubt. But Dale just yells, thunder will not change anything. We are going to die anyway. Another knight looks terrified. He says they do not understand. He says he saw what that giant can do back in the village. Peleus puts a hand on his shoulder. Even so, we cannot just give up, can we? He tells them to put their faith in the hero who is helping them for nothing in return. But the knight just says it is easy for him to say. Suddenly a mug flies through the air. It shatters right on top of their map. A knight bursts in, yelling that it is here. Everyone in the tent looks completely horrified. We cut to a massive wall of ice, and there is Subaru standing in the middle of this icy wasteland. He walks through an ice cave. Just what exactly do you want me to do? He walks down a long tunnel of ice. The chat is just saying there is nothing here. This chat says thunder is too fast to see. He thinks that is a fair point. He realizes this is not a trial where he is supposed to use his eyes. He thinks about the name of the place, Path Walked by Thunder. He feels a powerful lightning essence calling to him from deeper inside the cave. Subaru's eye widens in realization. He kneels down. He thinks this trial is probably. He throws a small rock at an ice wall. This rock is surrounded by invisible lightning, and it shatters against the wall, reacting to the energy. Subaru stands in a narrow ice passage. The chat is confused. What kind of trial is this? He knows this is the right way. He thinks it is pretty twisted. He starts running forward. It is a test of endurance. Golden lightning crackles around him. If you cannot endure, you die. He pushes through the storm of energy. The chat is sending him thousands of credits. He just smirks. Thanks for the mission rewards. We cut to a warm fireplace. A pot of stew is bubbling away. A man with long white hair sits in a chair, looking at his phone. He looks up, a thoughtful expression on his face. Suddenly, someone appears behind him, startling him. It is a woman with dark hair. She sees him hiding his phone. She teases him. Do not tell me you were watching something dirty. He tries to play it cool, saying his eyes were just tired. She does not buy it. She sits down next to him. He tells her to stop saying weird stuff. She says she is bored out of her mind since he told her not to watch Subaru's streams. He asks what is with her reaction. She says she will just endure it to the end. This white-haired man freaks out. You did not have to say it like that. He yells at her to stop yelling. She covers her ears. He clutches his phone, telling her not to worry about him. The volume is muted. She looks at him. She says he usually refuses to listen to anyone. We cut to a cozy room where a dark-haired woman calls a silver-haired man a weirdo. He calls out to her as she leaves, offering her a place to stay. He watches her go upstairs, looking a little nervous. He lets out a sigh of relief. He thinks that was close, and he almost got caught. He is watching Subaru's stream. He worries she will make a huge fuss if she finds out. He looks thoughtful. He says even if their positions were reversed, Subaru would not forget them. He keeps watching. He thinks the streamer's personality is just like the real Subaru. This streamer thanks someone for rewards. The silver-haired man thinks this is not like him. Suddenly, the woman's hand is on his shoulder. She asks what he is like. He is completely shocked. She asks if he really thought she would not notice. Her face is terrifyingly dark. She says, "You are 100 years too early to try fooling me." Back on the mountain, a system window says to open the path of thunder. Golden tears stream down Subaru's face. He stands on the snowy peak, ready to begin. Golden lightning erupts from his feet, cracking the frozen ground. This energy surges up his body. A progress bar appears, 2.3%. This lightning courses through his hand. He looks at his hand. He thinks this feeling is familiar. He has handled lightning countless times, a close-up on his determined golden eye. This power continues to build. The progress bar ticks up past 3%. He looks down. He knows it is a long road ahead. But he takes a firm step forward anyway. He starts walking. The chat wonders why he is not running. He tells his viewers he will not be able to read the chat. They are all telling him to hurry. He reaches out his hand toward the path. He thinks making it to the goal is a given. He clenches his fist, but if possible, he wants more than just that. Hawkeye stares at his screen, watching Subaru's stream. He sits back in his gaming chair, lost in thought. His boss wants him to collab with Subaru. Hawkeye wonders why his boss is getting involved personally. This boss holds his mug. He asks how many times he has to say it. He tells Hawkeye, "When it comes to the business side of streaming, you alone can only do half the job." Hawkeye says he knows what matters. Popularity is decided by which players exist in this era. This boss agrees. He says Subaru's streams are like a seasoned player's vlog. He tells Hawkeye to just let Subaru do his thing, a spectator-style stream. This boss leans in. He says this is a big chance. Hitch a ride on that comet. He tells Hawkeye to become a star that rises alongside him. Hawkeye looks down, considering the offer. His golden eye glows with determination. This boss calls him out for running away from the tower. Hawkeye grins. "I wanted it more than anyone." A close-up on his eye, reflecting a galaxy. He leans back, imagining himself among the stars. He wanted to be one. He reaches out. He asks himself, "Can I really become like them?" He snaps back to reality, jumping in his chair. He turns back to his work, wondering what he was doing. But then he sees something on the stream that makes him scream. Is he insane? This stream is live, and someone is groaning in pain. It is Subaru. He is on the ground, surrounded by golden lightning. A close-up shows a bloody gash on his neck. He looks up, his mask hiding his expression. His arm is covered in blood and bruises. He plants his foot on the ground, ready to push through the pain. Subaru is panting, his face bruised and bloody, but his eyes are full of resolve. This stronger the lightning, the deeper it seeps into the body. He thinks this should be enough as he forces the raw power into himself. This lightning begins to flow, coursing through every channel in his body, starting with his heart. This progress bar ticks past 20%. The energy surges across his back. A system window announces a fine vein cleansing is in progress. His body magic stat increases by 1. He has to grab this power, make it his own no matter what. This process will let his inner power reach every corner of his body, but the original Subaru skipped this, so our boy is taking a shortcut. A status ailment begins. Normally you would do this with your own magic. Blood drips from a wound in his side. Relying on external lightning is easier, but the pain is just indescribable. He stumbles forward, leaving a trail of blood on the frozen ground. Man, this is brutal. We cut to the dark-haired woman watching her phone in a dark room. She's watching Subaru's stream, and he is clearly in agony. She realizes he is opening his fine veins, and he is doing it right here. Not only that, he is doing it while moving and using an external force. She thinks the pain must be beyond imagination. You would normally pass out from this. And even if dying in a trial is not real, the pain feels just as real. Subaru spits up blood. She grits her teeth, asking why. She looks completely flustered. Why would he go this far? Back to Subaru. The progress bar hits 50%. He is still pushing forward. He hunches over. Thinking this is all his fault, he thinks he might as well have killed them. We see a flashback of his old party. The original Subaru told them there is no trial he cannot clear. He takes off his mask, smiling confidently. He tells them not to worry, she has a fatal wound. She asks him, why did not you protect us? Geez, that is brutal. Back in the real world, Subaru is on the ground. The chat is in full panic mode. A system window appears. Trial cleared. He lies on the icy floor. The lightning is gone. He slowly pushes himself up. He says he did not want to see that. He looks at his hand, he knows it was just an illusion. He clenches his fist, but damn, it felt so real. He stands up in the now quiet cave. He thinks the tower is just messing with him. A glowing light appears at the end of the tunnel. It is a floating piece of lightning, he says. So this is it. He walks towards the fragment. He reaches out his hand and he grabs it. A system window confirms it. Thunder fragment acquired. This entire ice cave starts to shake and crumble. He looks up as the ceiling collapses around him, and just like that, he is back outside on the mountain. The rain has stopped. He looks at the glowing fragment in his hand. He thinks about the time limit. He has to get back to the knights. We cut to the camp. It is in total chaos. This one-eyed guardian is rampaging through their defenses. Peleus is on the ground. He looks badly injured. Dale stands over him, trying to protect him from the giant. This giant's massive foot comes down to crush them both. But then a massive bolt of golden lightning slams into the ground right in front of it, and we are back in Subaru's head. He sees a memory, a woman's eye, a name, Chino. A group of adventurers stand around a swirling red vortex. Subaru is screaming. Aye. He is surrounded by shadowy figures. He does not want to die. A man with long dark hair is caught in the red energy. He yells, wait. He begs them not to go. Everyone, do not go. Please wait. He is sweating, completely desperate. He falls to his knees, pleading, and then a flash of light snaps him out of it. Subaru is on the ground. He thinks this must be the hallucination from the trial. This system window says the process is almost complete. Thunder now dwells in his body. He stands up, surrounded by golden lightning. He says the memory reminded him why he is alive. He sees a vision of the original Subaru, looking sharp in a suit. Meanwhile, back at the camp, the knights and villagers are staring up at the sky. These villagers are terrified, armed with whatever they could find, and the one-eyed guardian looms over them all. That is one terrifying smile. Geez, one of the knights panics. He thinks Subaru ran away, but Peleus clenches his fist. He yells, our benefactor will definitely come back. He turns on the others, furious that they would doubt Subaru. He tells them they should be ashamed to call themselves knights. Dale puts a hand on his shoulder. He says, you are right. He reminds them all that protecting the village is their duty first. This knights draw their swords, ready to face the giant. Back at the camp, Dale holds a glowing blue sword. He says, knights are not the ones who get protected. They are the ones who protect. He plants his foot firmly on the ground. He yells, today let us die as true knights, and leads the charge. Meanwhile, Subaru's progress bar hits 99%. He is covered in blood and lightning. A glowing golden orb materializes before him. He runs towards it. He thinks that has to be the goal. His fatigue is at 97. Blood streams down his face, just a little more. He takes one last desperate step. The system warns him it is dangerous. A close-up of his foot landing. He is pushing past his limits, and back at the battle, a giant's foot stomps down. Dale leaps into the air, his eyes blazing. He grips his glowing sword, ready to strike. He slices clean through a giant's arm. This arm is severed, sending blood everywhere. This giant screams in agony. Dale lands, facing off against another one. He is not backing down. Peleus yells out, leave the rest to me. He stomps his foot, preparing to launch himself. He flies through the air, surrounded by a dark aura. He soars towards a giant's face as it roars. His eyes are filled with pure determination. He unleashes a powerful slash across the giant's face. This giant growls, its eye completely shattered. This attack tears right through its head, and Peleus lands as the giant's head explodes behind him. Damn, what a move. We are in a flashback. A knight cheers. We did it. Sir Peleus and Sir Dale finally brought it down. This knights hack away at a fallen giant, calling it a filthy monster. One thanks Dale for his help. Peleus tells Dale they can finally relax now that the most dangerous one is dead, but Dale just says no. Dale looks terrified. He says, that is not the one I meant. This other knights are oblivious. They think it was not a big deal and that their leaders are just amazing. One of them smiles, saying they just need to finish off the rest. And then a massive bloody fist slams down from the sky. Peleus and Dale look up in absolute horror. Dale says that is the one. Peleus screams, this one's on a whole different level. Back in the present, Subaru's progress bar hits 99.99%. He holds a sphere of pure lightning. It hits 100%. He is wreathed in golden energy. I will make you apologize in hell. His eye glows with power, he says. Kyojo, I will bring your head with me as a souvenir. Subaru walks forward into the blinding light, a silhouette of pure power. He becomes a pillar of golden lightning, erupting outwards. This energy wraps around his sword. He says finally. He pants, covered in blood. The trial is over. A close-up on his eye. He is exhausted but focused. A system window announces his fine vein cleansing is complete. He gets a massive stat boost. He looks up, blood dripping from his mask. If you had one more hit in you. His hand reaches out as he falls backward. You could at least give a guy some warning first. Subaru lies unconscious on the shattered ground. A system window announces stage 6 is cleared. We cut to a man in a suit watching a screen. He looks unimpressed. He is watching Subaru's stream. The chat is freaking out that he collapsed again. This man taps his desk. He says, "Wow, does not seem like he is cut out for streaming." A chibi reflection of himself with a smug look appears on his device. Hawkeye's boss is on the phone. He says, "Right now, I was just watching Narukami Subaru's stream." Hawkeye is on the other end. He tells him to calm down and explain. He says, "This guy is really going to be a star." Hawkeye kicks back in his chair. He says Subaru will be a star as a player and a streamer. His boss is not so sure. Hawkeye grins. He says the core concept is getting a Subaru who is close to the real thing. We see a vision of the original Subaru. The text says he was a player, not a streamer. This boss leans over his desk. He says they get to witness the birth of player Subaru. He looks intense. He says they get to see it in real time. This stream is live, and Subaru's hand is bloody, pressed into the snow. Man, he is on his knees, completely wrecked. The chat is glad he is still alive. He looks up, his eye burning with resolve. He clutches his head, feeling the intense fatigue. His fatigue level is at 81. He thinks his higher stats helped keep it from being worse. A whole bunch of mission cleared notifications pop up. His credits are over 20,000. He thinks he has saved up a decent amount. He checks his wedge of greed skill. He needs more to level it up, but thinks beating the giant will be enough. He holds a glowing orb of lightning. He says this is the key to taking it down. It is a legendary one-time use item, the lightning spear. The chat is losing its mind. Subaru looks at the orb. He notes that it does not exactly look like a spear. He taps his interface. He tells the chat that high-rank items can change shape. The chat is impressed by his knowledge. Subaru walks into the glowing cave. "All right then, let us go take that thing down." Back at the camp, Peleus is screaming. He and another knight stare up in horror. A massive shadowy giant looms over them. This giant lets out a terrifying roar. Geez, they are so screwed. This new giant is on another level. It is wreathed in dark energy. A system window says the giant seed swallowed the giant's record. It just powered up. Peleus screams at one of his knights who is running away. This knight is crying and laughing. He says, "I told you, did not I, why you people do not know anything?" He kneels before the giant's massive foot. He says, "I am not like those foolish humans." He bows his head to the ground, begging for mercy. Man, what a coward. This giant looms over him. It asks, "Gods." It looks down on him with contempt. "Do not lump me in with such cowardly, filthy creatures." Dale grabs the traitor, yelling at him to get up. He tries to get them to safety. He tells Peleus to take the villagers and run. Dale screams at them to run. He is staying behind. Peleus can only scream his name in horror. A massive bloody impact crushes the ground where Dale made his stand. Damn, Peleus is panting. He does not see any way to win. He knows every escape route is cut off. This knights and villagers are completely surrounded. It is a slaughter, a close-up on Peleus's eye. He is terrified. He grits his teeth, backed into a corner. He yells at the giant, "I know who killed your son. I know exactly who did it." He stands his ground, ready to make his move. This giant leans in close. It asks, "Who?" Peleus draws his sword, his face a mask of desperation. He points his glowing sword. He yells, "Over there." He points toward the mountain. "The human who killed your son went that way, to gather power to kill you and your kind." He holds his sword steady. He thinks, "Please fall for it, go that way." He is buying time for Subaru. A mysterious hooded figure with long white hair appears. This figure declares, "Your words are tainted with lies." Peleus is in shock. The figure asks if his son's killer is not here. He warns Peleus to answer, as golden lightning erupts from a distant mountain. This lightning strikes down, and Peleus looks up in terror. A silhouette forms on the mountain peak, wreathed in golden energy. Peleus recognizes him. He whispers, "Benefactor." A system window announces stage 7. Subaru looks at a massive floating island, thinking this is the last one. He thinks this is way too hard for floor 2. The chat agrees this is getting ridiculous. He says it is fine, despite being covered in wounds. He says he just has to land one hit, as he selects an item from his inventory. He holds the glowing orb. He knows he cannot win a straight fight. He raises it high. The system announces the activation of the lightning spear. He holds it to the sky, and the spear begins to initialize. This sky explodes with golden lightning. This energy swirls into a massive vortex above him. Subaru reaches into the storm. The activation rate is just over 10%. His fatigue jumps to 84. The raw power surges into his hand. This lightning courses up his arm. Man, that has to hurt. He pushes through the pain. The activation rate hits 33%. He clenches his fist. His wedge of greed skill tries to resist the backlash, but the resistance fails. His compatibility is too low. He thinks his skill level is not high enough for this. Fatigue hits 88. Activation is at 50%. He knows his body just has to endure. This chat jokes that he must have a kink for this kind of pain. Subaru's eye glows with focus. He glances back, seeing the hooded figure watching him. He says, "So they noticed, huh?" Back on the mountain, Subaru is surrounded by golden lightning. This activation rate for his attack hits 78.5%. This giant senses the thunder and looks up toward the mountain. It realizes who killed its son. Its foot slams down, cracking the earth. This giant's eyes glow with rage. It says, "You are the one." It leaps over the village, ignoring the knights completely. Peleus yells out, asking where it is going. He looks nervous, but determined to stop it. This giant soars through the air, heading straight for the mountain peak. It looks up at the blinding light. He says his son's name. Padel, he says, "You must have suffered." He promises to return that suffering. He stomps his foot, preparing to launch himself. This ground explodes as he takes off. He rockets towards the peak, his face a mask of pure fury. He screams, "With interest to all of you." He is a blur of motion, a missile of rage. His eyes are burning red with hatred. Back to Subaru. The lightning spear is initializing. This giant descends from the sky like a meteor. Subaru knows the odds are 50-50. He tells himself not to take his eyes off it. We see a flashback to a man telling someone not to look away. A system window appears. The lightning spear is almost done initializing. Subaru's eye glows. He wonders what he is supposed to do. A vision of the original Subaru appears. He says, "It is not like you're throwing some normal spear anyway." This original Subaru smirks. He says, "Do not throw it, fire it." Back to the battle. The giant roars from the cliffs above. This chat is screaming at him to launch it already. The giant is coming down fast. But our boy holds steady, he thinks, just a little more. This giant's fist smashes the ground. It groans in frustration. Subaru plants his foot, holding his ground against the shockwave. This giant leaps high into the air, preparing to stomp him flat. Man, the sheer scale of this thing is terrifying. A massive burst of golden energy explodes from Subaru. He stands in the eye of the storm. The system says initialization is complete. He grips the fully powered spear. His eyes are burning. He rears back. He knows he only gets one shot at this. This giant roars as it plummets towards him. Subaru yells, "I will finish it in a single blow." He launches himself into the air, hurling the spear upwards. He hangs in the air for a moment, surrounded by lightning, and it is a direct hit. The spear slams right into the giant's eye. Golden energy erupts through the monster's body. This entire area is consumed by a massive explosion. This giant's eye looks on in disbelief. It lets out a faint sound. Its body dissolves into the blinding light. It seems to whisper a name. Subaru lands firmly back on the ground. The deed is done. Subaru stands there, completely battered. The chat is losing its mind. A system window pops up. The thunder-devouring seed is defeated. Stage 7 is cleared, and with that comes a level up and a whole bunch of stat boosts. He gets even more stats and an item, the Heart of Thunder. He holds the glowing yellow crystal. He wonders if this is it. It pulses with a brilliant golden light in his hands. He lets out a pained grunt. Suddenly his eyes widen. He is somewhere else entirely. He stands on a strange purple sea. He asks, "Where am I?" A massive shadowy figure looms over him from behind. Geez, that is terrifying. He tries to scream, but his voice will not come out. He is completely paralyzed. His body will not move. System windows flood his vision. Is watching you. This message repeats over and over as he runs from the shadows. He looks up at the strange presence. He asks, "Are you trying to tell me something?" He clenches his fist. The Heart of Thunder glows brightly. A pillar of light erupts from the sky, and just like that, he is back on the cliff. A system window announces the main scenario will now begin. He sits up, looking at the beautiful sky. He asks if that was not a cutscene. He stumbles to his feet. He says, "Sorry, I blacked out for a second." The chat is roasting him. He remembers something important. He says he has to get his credits. A flood of mission complete notifications pop up, giving him thousands of credits. This system reminds him to use the Heart of Thunder to find clues. He sits on the cliff again. The text says he blacked out again. Man, poor guy. Subaru stumbles to his feet. He says, "Wait, that was not a cutscene. Sorry about that." He looks at his interface. He says, "Oh right, I should grab the credits." A flood of mission cleared notifications pop up. His credits are now over 40,000. He tells the chat he is tired. He says, "See you next time then." A system window announces that Narukami Subaru has ended the live stream. We cut to a cafe. A woman's voice says, "Really, great work on that trial." It is the dark-haired woman. Subaru asks if his stream style is okay. She says it is perfect. She tells him his peak viewers passed 3,000. He is completely surprised. He says he was too focused to check the numbers. She tells him that is incredible for a rookie. She praises his timing for ending the stream. His fatigue actually worked in his favor. She says it leaves people curious, like a drama. She asks if he planned it. He explains his plan. "I am planning to check the rewards together with the viewers next stream." She smiles, "So you do get it." She thinks the old man was worrying for nothing. She leans forward. "I have actually got a present for you today." He asks what it is. She leans back. She says, "Something you will not be able to refuse." She gives him a sly smile, "A very special present." She points a finger up, saying his timing was perfect. She says it leaves the audience wanting more. She asks if it was planned. He tells her he will check the rewards on the next stream for a genuine reaction. She looks pleased. She thinks to herself that the old man was worried for nothing. She tells him she has a present for him today. He seems curious. She says it is something he cannot refuse. She smiles, calling it a very special present.